It's a bird. It's a plane.
We may not be faster than a speeding bullet. We may not be able to jump over small cracks in the sidewalk, but we are BUBBZI and the Beard.
And this is the fantastic tale of the Caffeinated podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally
Not sick.
COVID-free.
Oh my gosh.
And we are back. I'm not sure if that makes you all happy or scared, but we are back. We do apologize for the delay. You all will probably be seeing this sometime
Tonight.
Monday evening, and we're going to go from there.
Yeah. But
BUBBZI, how you feeling?
I'm still a little weak in the chest. I'm out of breath from literally just screaming for a couple seconds. As you all may know, I am a very loud and proud individual. So normally shouting should not do this to me because I do it all the time. But here we are.
Well, if you all saw the small video I put out, COVID literally went through our house twice.
Either that or I had the flu and then Corona. I
don't know. It was not good.
Basically, I was incapable of leaving my bed for 2 weeks because I just was ill.
You know, and BUBBZI, we've told them a couple episodes ago that we were trying to institute some anti-chaos protocols. COVID does not care about anything that you try to institute, and if it's the flu, it does not care about anything that you're trying to institute.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I was bedridden. I basically. All I did was cough, sneeze, blow my nose, repeat for 2 weeks.
Well, BUBBZI, I have some news. I'm excited about it. I hope they will be as well. You know, the gentleman, my oldest friend in the world, who came up with the idea of the MCU's greatest moments, and then, as BUBBZI and I do, we overthink stuff. So we decided to expand it into something totally different, or more, I should say. So, in speaking with him today, his name is Kevin Robinson, by the way. He is going to come in and be our special guest on the MCU versus DCU podcast. Now, BUBBZI and I are fans, but I think he's a little, if you've seen any of his comments at all, he's a little bit more of a fan than BUBBZI and I are.
I just realized we're going to run into an issue. There's going to be two Kevins on the podcast. I feel outweighed.
Well, just as long as you call me the Beard, that's cool. That'll work. So, but we've
yeah, but I'm still outweighed
here. What to do for years.
I'm still outweighed here. I don't think you understand the magnitude of what I'm going to have to deal with.
You'll have to find somebody to fit in with yours. That's all I know.
I've been trying.
I think it was kind of taking that overthinking of it again and taking it to the next level. You know, we said we're going to give you a shout out if you give us an idea. So we decided to take his shout out, give him that, and then we thought, well, why not? And just so everybody knows, because he'll probably mention it anyway, he's probably one of the few people on this planet that has ever seen me without a mustache or a beard. Period.
There have been threats, okay, ladies and gentlemen. There have been threats for me to shave. See, I was clean shaven. The goatee is slowly making its appearance back. But there have been threats, possibly not now, because he's put way too much work into it, and I know he likes it. I know everyone else likes it. But there have been threats. Somebody
told me the other day I look like Uncle Si, and I said, I'll take that compliment.
Well, you are as quirky as him. I will give you that.
Well, we don't want to take too much more of your time. I just wanted to share that little bit with you. And I also want to remind you that we have two.
Whoa. Hey,
what?
We've not done something, sir. You're jumping things. We're a little out of practice.
I'm excited. I want to do this before I run out of breath.
Okay, well, we gave them a little bit of an intro, but we did not give them the beginning of the show. Okay, this is like a little teaser. All right.
Okay, go for it.
This is the Caffeinated podcast. I'm BUBBZI, and he's the Beard. This is the show where positivity is the goal and chaos is the process. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. I don't know why I got this close to you all, but I'm in your head.
And I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
At least you're not in
But,
mine, okay? Like, hey, it's an improvement, you know?
I've said before that nobody wants to be in my brain because it's too dark and it's scary in there. So, but, we love the sponsors that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason that we love them is because they don't just go, hey, let's make money. They go, let's make money so we can help somebody else. And we're going to talk about Coffeetarian as the main sponsor this evening, or what today would depend on however you see it. And they have a brand new sponsor, which we're going to give you a little information on them, but you can also go to coffeetarian.store and you can scroll down the page and get more information. But we kind of try to put it all in there to let you all hear it. But I highly recommend you go read it in case we mess it up, as we often times.
As everyone knows, tongues are too large for most people's mouths. I have a large head, so just imagine how large my tongue is. It gets twisted all the time. But
BUBBZI.
We are going to be talking about Coffeetarian. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Coffee plus humanitarian. That is Coffeetarian. The vision behind Coffeetarian is not only to provide quality, curated coffee straight to your door, but also to contribute to humanitarian efforts around the world to make life better for everybody. Coffeetarian is an online marketplace that, like I said, offers coffee and other various items. And they also have their coffee blog to make your coffee making level that much better. Now, we all know that we have our own coffee snob on the podcast, so I'm going to hand it over to him so he can tell you about their awesome single source coffees, as well as I believe they have a new one that just hit the store. Is that correct?
Before I get into the gist of the script per se, I want to let you all know that they do have a brand new single source coffee on the website. It's called Bally Blue. Now, I've read it. I've ordered it. It's on its way. Because
I can't wait.
A medium dark roast. The tasting profiles for those that are interested in that kind of thing are dark chocolate, molasses, and brown sugar. Now, I always order whole bean, so you can adjust the flavors how you wish. I cannot wait for this to get here at the end of this week and give it a shot. And I will definitely be telling you whatever podcast we do after I get it so that you all know. But the thing about Coffeetarian is that they do offer single origin coffees from regions such as Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia, Tanzania, and many more. They also have blends such as their breakfast blend and their cowboy blend, which is really good. And what they do is they mix high quality single origins with just different roast levels to get that perfect flavor. Finally, they offer flavored coffees such as their Mexican chocolate, their Cinnabon, pumpkin spice, and others. Now, all of the coffee is roasted on demand per order. I always feel like I need to say that twice, that all the coffee is roasted on demand per order, and then it's shipped the next day. Well, what does that mean? For you, it means it's not sitting around in a warehouse somewhere for months and months and months before it comes to your house. They roast it on demand. They ship it out the next day, and it usually arrives anywhere between 4 and 5 business days so that your coffee has that perfect freshness and it's ready for that first perfect cup. Now, for the diehard coffee fans such as me, you can set up a subscription that auto orders and auto ships your coffee in weekly or monthly increments. It just depends on how much you want and how often you want to get it.
Yeah, I think we did just change our subscription. Did we have to get another thing?
We did. We have one coming on a regular basis, and we're going to. I may not have ordered enough, actually.
Yeah, we go through a lot of coffee in this place, but the thing that makes Coffeetarian special is that they partner with local charities to raise awareness about amazing causes, and a percentage of every sale on their site, whether it be, like I said, the coffee merchandise, or we're talking the mugs, the t-shirts, the hats, goes directly to their monthly charity sponsor. Now, this month, we've got a new one. Like we said, it will be, I'm not going to be looking at you. I do apologize because I got to read and my brain will think too fast. So, this month is Cassidys Cause. Their mission is to provide individuals with disabilities the opportunity to grow and develop through therapeutic, educational, and recreational activities while on a horse. Cassidys Cause Therapeutic Riding Academy helps individuals move beyond the confines of their bodies and disabilities into new, unexplored worlds. Watching individuals interact with horses and gain confidence and self-esteem is truly an unforgettable experience. Proud parents observe their children sitting tall in the saddle, smiling brightly and laughing uncontrollably while riding horses. I don't know about you, but like I've rode horses, little ponies, you know, at the fairs and things like that. There's no greater joy, I don't think, in a lot of cases when you get that chance. For individuals with impaired mobility, horseback riding gently and rhythmically, wow, that was a hard word, moves their bodies in 3 planes, forward and backwards, side to side, and up and down. Riders experience increased balance, muscle control, and strength. Horseback riding helps individuals with learning or cognitive disabilities improve their concentration, recognition, and vocabulary, and task completion. The unique bond formed with the horse can help improve personal relationships, patience, and behavior among individuals with psychological and emotional disabilities. Now, Cassidys Cause is located in Paducah, Kentucky. Cassidys Cause Therapeutic Riding Academy's state-of-the-art facility sits on 22 acres of beautifully groomed pastures. The rolling countryside provides a relaxing environment that some might consider therapy itself. And wow, they came up with a shortage. CCTRA has become a home away from home for students, parents, volunteers, and all who visit. To read more about this amazing organization, check out their website at CassidysCause.org. Or you can go to coffeetarian.store and click the link there to make a donation to the foundation directly.
That's amazing. I love again, guys, you know, we put a lot of information into this first one. We'll probably pare it down a little bit for the next one, but we wanted you to have all the basic information to go. So not only do you get fantastic coffee when you go to coffeetarian.store, we wanted you to see the fantastic causes that they help support. Because when you go in and you look and you find that perfect coffee, you know, our favorite around here is the Colombian. That's what we have on auto ship.
Yeah.
But whenever you go in and look and find what you want to try, put in BEARD at the end and save 10% off your first order of coffee. Okay. And you'll love it. I promise you. And you'll go back and go back and go back. And every time you order, you're helping somebody do something that they may not have been able to do without you getting a great cup of coffee. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Now, our other sponsor, we'll just talk about them real quick, is CustomBeardCo. They make some of the best beard and body products on the market, in my opinion. I tried a lot before I actually got a chance to try them. I have some more of their coming, and a fragrance that I have not yet tried. I'm really looking forward to it. And they also, when you go in and buy, I believe it's their entity stuff or their entity kits, a portion of that goes to the American Cancer Society to fight cancer. So these guys do a great job, and you get a fantastic product.
They're helping the goatee make a reappearance. Okay.
Yep.
That alone is very important because I look
healthy.
Okay, first of all, I don't know if anybody tuned into the last podcast where I was clean shaven, but I swear I look like Mr. Incredible at the beginning of the first movie. Okay, it's not a good thing. Okay, it was not a good thing. All right. Now, I'd had the goatee for a long time. I kept forgetting every time I walked and looked into the mirror for the first time. Okay, now I will say this, probably just out of my own shame. Please go listen to the audio version of that podcast and not the video version.
Well, he made the mistake that all of us who've had beards, mustaches, or goatees have all done it one time or another. He tried to trim it, wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to what thing was on the trimmer.
COVID brain.
And he's like, oh, man.
I'm going to blame it entirely on COVID brain. My ears were stopped up. My equilibrium was gone. I probably should not have brought anything sharp near my face.
That's entirely possible.
But I at least didn't cut myself. Okay, that's a good thing. So
guys, for this particular podcast, last time we did MCU's greatest moments or best moments, however you want to say it. This time we're going to talk about the best DCU moments. Now, I know some of you are going to go, it's not called DCU, it's called DCEU, which stands for DC Extended Universe. I get that, but we're going just basic. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I just wanted to know. I did
that's
know
like
that.
their.
I understood that.
That's just like the recent movies. We're talking everything.
Yeah, but it's it's just DCU. It's Detective Comics Universe. If you didn't know
Yes.
what DC
Yes.
stood for, by the way.
Yes.
But we're going to try to, we're going to talk about what we think might be the best movie, best TV show,
We're gonna talk about
the best DC movie or TV show moment.
We're gonna talk about literally my favorite character ever to exist in life.
Yeah, because that's one of the things. Best DCU character.
Yeah.
And then, and we're doing this, following the same basic script we did for MCU, the DCU movie or TV show we'd like to see. And with all this stuff, guys, we want your comments. We want to know what you think. And, I know somebody might go, well, I think you guys are crazy. You're not the first one that's ever told us that.
Or will you be the last?
Probably. But we want to know what you think, because next week, along with our special guest, we're going to do the MCU versus DCU. We're going to like, well, was this movie better than that movie? Maybe. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to have the argument. If so-and-so fought so-and-so, who would win? We've got to have that argument. That's just a natural for this. So, Bubs, I mean, DCU has a lot of different characters, I guess. They're, I remember them more in some respects than I do a lot of the MCU as a kid. So, what do you think was the best DCU movie that you've seen or TV show?
I'm skipping a movie. Screw that. Okay, we're going TV show. Exactly in the year 2000, there were 4 seasons. Its name is Static Shock. Okay, it is the best DC television show ever to be put on the planet. Okay, now if you want to watch it for free, you can watch it on HBO Max. I've done my research. I'm planning on watching it again tonight. Don't blame me. You know who you are. I see you.
Well, see, the thing about this, I can really torture him because he can only watch it if I give him my login. Just
I will buy a subscription if I have to.
Well, I get it. Yeah, Static Shock was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Oh my god!
And there's a lot of the, when I was a kid, the Justice League comics were big on TV. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, Justice League. It was so much fun to watch.
I remember when they released the first Justice League movie.
Yeah,
the animated movie. And this is going to tell my age a little bit. Probably going to tell yours probably more than mine. But I owned it on VCR. I owned it on VCR. Okay, that is how I'd like. Oh, I remember it.
Here's the thing. Now, I think in some respects, I might have a harder time completely picking the best MCU movie, because MCU has done a really good job at promoting and putting a lot of money into them and making them stand outish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like bigger than life, which is what a superhero movie should be. It should just be bump, 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 all that stuff. So, but for DCU, I love the Justice League movie. I did. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, because if I'm going to get right down to it, my favorite was Aquaman.
Aquaman was pretty good.
I really, really liked the way they did Aquaman. I liked the way they put it together. I liked the fact that he didn't take himself very seriously, and it was just a really good, fun movie. And I know that most of the ladies enjoyed watching Jason Momoa without his shirt on for pretty much the entire stinking movie.
I will say, because in a lot of, at least like the cartoons and things like that, Aquaman is like the huge stickler. Like he's like, I'm doing it this way.
He talks to fish.
I talk to fish. I am robotic. This is what I do. I am king of it. At least there was character in this one, which right. Yeah. Now if we're just talking like movies, dude, everybody knows, probably has already known, but I'm a big fan of Batman. You can't
I love
tell.
the Batman movies.
Here's the thing. Okay, the new Batman is coming out here shortly. I'm hoping hoping there will not be sparkles. I will say this: I loved, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Christian Bale did a really good job with Batman.
But I'm also not going to forget I don't remember when it was released, but this was another one I owned on VCR. But it was the Batman Beyond movie, Return of the Joker.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, if you know, like I said, right now, one of my favorite movies is Aquaman. I really enjoy it. So, of the newer ones, that's probably my favorite. I liked Man of Steel out in 2013. I enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm.
But Aquaman just kind of took it over the top. Now, what red-blooded American male is not going to enjoy watching Wonder Woman? Hello, thank you very much. I'll leave that out there and leave it like that. The lady that played Wonder Woman got such a bad rap, got so much bad press, and how bad an actress she was. I'm sorry, guys. I disagree with you. I don't think she did that bad a job. I thought she actually, held her own pretty well. But if you're going to go Batman on me, then you have to go back to the original Batman. Where Jack Nicholson played the Joker.
Now we're going to talk about the Batman TV show as well.
Well...
Holy birthday cake, Batman!
I don't want to talk about any particular one thing, but the Batman TV show with Adam West, I watched it as a kid because I'm a Batman fan. I think Batman's probably, we're talking about movies wise, but favorite character when we get there, Batman's my favorite character, hands down. But the TV series with Adam West turned a crime fighter into a clown, in my opinion. Sorry, but that's, was it entertaining to watch? Well, of course, biff, boom, pow, sure it was. Right? But he wasn't like any Batman I'd ever read. Ever. But, is there any other TV shows or movies that you like, Bubs?
Well, obviously we have to bring up CW. We have to bring up the Arrowverse.
Well, that's true.
Because they are probably the most prominent DC inspired television shows out there. You don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about like Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, everything like that. Now, if we're talking as far as just it makes it, because here's the thing. Everybody knows I'm the gamer of the family. But like, talk about some overpowered characters. Oh, like, now if we're talking like comic book level, not TV show, because here's the thing. I don't think people understand this, but everybody who you probably have seen on a screen, as far as what their power should be, has been nerfed to the ground as far as what their power should be. Okay, because like the Flash, literally an entire episode or entire season of what he should be going through should probably take 15 seconds maximum. Just saying. Probably the same for Superman, except he has kryptonite, like the Flash. Like, oh my gosh, I went too fast.
Well, the thing about it is they've done some interesting Superman TV shows.
What's the most recent one? Was it Lois and Clark?
Lois and Clark or something like that, where they moved back to Smallville to raise their children. And they start showing. I haven't watched enough of that, but it seems a little more interesting. The other one was Lois. It might have been Lois and Clark as well, in something similar to that. But it was more of the love story between Superman and Lois Lane, and how their love story fit around all the stuff that was coming at Superman all the time.
All I'm saying.
But I mean, and I don't have a problem with the love story. I mean, if you watch one of the original Christopher Reeves movies, what did he do for Lois? He literally gave up all his powers so that he could spend his life living and loving on Lois Lane. But when you talk about the, when you start getting into characters, we might as well talk about characters. That's what we're doing anyway. When you start talking about what makes Superman a superhero, think about this. That same particular movie, he traveled and almost, killed himself to retrieve his powers so he could save the earth for all the human beings on it. Gave up his chance to be normal and have a normal life for everybody else. That's why Superman is, America's hero, kind of, so to speak, But I mean, it's all good. I mean,
well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, he is probably one of the heroes, but I have to side with Batman on this one. He's also probably Earth's greatest weakness to some extent. Because if he were,
it could definitely be a danger. I mean, he could definitely, if you've ever read any of the comics, when he goes, I mean, it ain't good.
No, it's not. Like I said, I'm a video game nerd. There's literally a fighting game that's literally a Batman team and a Superman team versus each other.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Injustice. It's the Injustice series. It was also a comic line. Basically, the whole premise of it is Joker kills Lois, and Superman snaps, and basically turns the Justice League into the Justice Dictatorship. And basically, it's Batman who's like, we need to protect humans. Superman's like, well, I'm going to lead with an iron fist. Yada yada yada. But it brings in so many characters and so many things that it just works. It's an excellent story. You actually get to pick and choose who wins depending on who you play as.
I got you.
But talking about, I think we need to talk about Superman specifically and his weaknesses. I think everybody knows Kryptonite, but the different types of Kryptonite. Everyone, I think, obviously knows
causes different reactions. I mean, each different kind of Kryptonite causes something unusual. I'm
gonna look up.
Let's do this while you're looking that up. Because we're going to talk about characters. That's the only way you can do this anyway. But I want you to think about this before we really get into delving into the things about him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is probably in your mind? And guys and gals and whoever's listening, put it in the comments. What is your best, or what do you think is one of the best DC movie or TV moments? What do you think, Bubs? As a moment like that catches your attention, something that kind of sticks with you. What do you think?
There was a Flashpoint.
Right? Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Flashpoint.
Yeah. Basically, everything can be summed up to Barry Allen. Why in the DC universe? Right. Because, talk about Flashpoint. You've got the whole New 52, where it literally rewrote everyone's history. Like, it literally retconned old comic origin stories where they are no longer canon because Barry Allen I'm going to save my mama.
Yep. Now, see, I have a couple. One of my favorite movie moments, just because it was really cool. For number one, like I said, I like the original Batman with Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. I was thoroughly shocked that Michael Keaton did such an exceptional job. Was thoroughly glad that he did, and I haven't probably seen that movie almost 160 times.
It's been a lot.
That tells you how much I feel about that Batman movie.
Yeah.
But there's a point in the movie that after Jack Nicholson's character, Jack Napier, has been set up and he's been dumped in the liquid and all this stuff, and he's come back and he looks like the Joker, and he kills his boss.
Not the boss.
For setting him up. And then he sits down at the desk and he reads in the paper about all the exploits. They're not talking about him at all. And he just kind of starts going a little silly and he starts laughing. It's that kind of statement, this town needs an enema. And then he goes, wait till they get a load of me, and starts giggling and laughing. Oh, it's just fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, it's just one of those kind of predetermined moments. But if you remember, one of the best scenes for me for newer movies is from Aquaman. You remember the Sicily showdown where they did the big fight in the town where Black Manta was trying to kill him and the other people were chasing her, and the action was just amazing. I enjoyed it too much. But that's my two favorite moments when it comes to just that. But I want to know what everybody else thinks. Okay? I want to see it in the comments, please, and thank you.
One of my favorite moments, and this is going to be incredibly creepy,
That's scary.
But Mark Hamill's Joker laugh, dude. Dude.
Yeah, he does do a pretty good job.
It's I kind of want to find a clip to talk about just the laugh of Mark. Like, the dude actually sounds nuts.
We might have to at some point just do a whole podcast on the cartoons and the people behind the people behind the voices behind the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Of course,
because there's some people that they like, I don't know if Vin Diesel does, voices in cartoons as well as movies. I mean, let's see. Tell me who this is. I am Groot.
It's Vin Diesel.
Right.
Now, have you seen...
wait a minute. I just want to know. Wonder how much he got paid to go. I am Groot.
Well, considering how many different inflections and tones, I'm going to assume a lot.
There weren't it didn't change all that much.
Well, I mean, you've got
I am Groot. You can't play with that. I am Groot.
Well, no. You've got I am Groot, and then you've got I am Groot. Now
I get it.
I personally have not, but have you seen the Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
I have, and
because I've heard he
didn't do a good job, but it was just very, 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 very. Did I say very dark?
Yeah. But okay, who do you think did a better version, him or what was it, Jared Leto from Suicide Squad? Talking like the whole tatted up, like.
I didn't really care for that particular Joker, to be quite honest with you. I thoroughly enjoyed Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, I'm about to say Heath Ledger is my Joker.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I do believe that Jack Nicholson did a primo job as Joker, because, let's just say it the way it is. Jack looks a little nuts anyway, and
he
did a good job. All right, so we want to talk about characters, right? The best DCU character, or what we think is the best DCU character. So we want to talk about some of Superman's weaknesses. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, I didn't realize how many versions of Kryptonite there were. Like, I knew everybody knows of like green Kryptonite, red Kryptonite. I brought up Injustice because they actually use, if you go with the Batman arc, what's called gold Kryptonite. And I don't know if you know what gold Kryptonite does.
No, I don't.
So, as you know, green Kryptonite makes him weak and makes him like he can take damage. Gold Kryptonite, the more he is exposed to it, actually steals his power and will completely strip it away from him. So, the only way that they, at least in the Injustice line, is Firestorm, his whole thing is like molecular instability and changing it, whatever. He creates it. He creates gold Kryptonite for Batman. Batman turns it into a knife and starts fighting Superman at the end of it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and starts stealing the dude's powers away from him. He can't use it, but it's like Superman is just weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker.
It's because, all right, let's do it this way. Batman, if you've seen any of the Justice Leagues and you know the kind of the premise of he came up with a plan to defend the Earth against any of these superheroes if they ever lost their minds.
I forget what the
ways to defeat them,
the
kryptonite powered robots
plans
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Batman kind of took that upon himself. So I can see where he would get him to do that so that he could actually fight him. That's the thing about Batman that I love. And, I'll just say it. To me, as much as I enjoy most of the characters, Batman is the best DCU character ever. Mm-hmm. He is the best DCU superhero. Well, no, he's not. He's just got a bunch of gadgets. Right. He took his money, his mind, and the ability to make these gadgets, and then he put his body on the line, knowing that he had no superpowers other than, bulletproof fabrics and all this other stuff. and he still went out and did it. You know, I'm not saying that makes Superman any less than a hero, because Superman's character, the way that he was raised in Smallville, is what made Superman Superman. The stuff that Martha and I can't think of her husband's name right now, you know, instilled in Clark as they were raising him as Clark Kent. That's what made Superman Superman. It wasn't the superpowers. It was the heart for other people. You know, so, but I'll just leave it out there. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong if you want, but Batman is the best DCU character. Hands down, my opinion. And I'll leave it alone and let BUBBZI talk, because I know who he wants to talk about.
Well, everybody knows I want to talk about Static Shock. But I believe it was the Agamemnon contingency plans. The ones... I don't know how to...
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the contingency plans to fight the Justice League. That includes, you know, Barry Allen, Wally West, Impulse, like, includes everybody.
I got you.
Now, the other reason I wanted to bring up this trivia, because there is a game show run by College Humor off their platform. Now, there was a thing that came up where it asked what blank did, basically. One of them happened to be about Kryptonite. Do you know what pink Kryptonite does?
It makes him dance the Nutcracker.
Honestly, kind of close.
I have no clue, but that just seemed like a perfectly acceptable answer in my head. It might have made somebody mad, but
well,
it was a perfectly acceptable answer in my head.
So technically what it does is it basically turns Superman very flamboyant and interested no longer in Lois Lane, but in what was the Jimmy Olsen. Makes him entirely interested in Jimmy Olsen.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And apparently, just from the short list, apparently there are 32 different types of kryptonite.
Wow.
I didn't realize there was...
That's interesting. So,
I didn't know there was that many.
I didn't either. I only knew of 2 or 3. But so your favorite character, your mind, who's the best DC character?
What is his name? Crypto Superdog.
That's a pretty cool character.
That's a pretty good.
I figured you'd say Static Shock because you're in love with Static Shock.
First of all, Virgil Hawkins, Static Shock, probably one of the best characters known to man. Oh my gosh, dude. Just hit the style in which he deals with everybody. He pokes fun and makes jabs in a lot of situations where I think he could probably put Peter Parker to shame with how much he talks during fights.
And Peter Parker likes to talk during fights. Now,
Peter Parker likes to talk a lot. Now, I'm not saying that Static is as powerful as Peter Parker, because honestly, I think Peter Parker is quite up there in a couple of the comics.
It's a different type of power. It could be interesting to see them test it out.
Tune in next week.
You know, it could be interesting to test them out. Now, not that I'm going to stop you from talking, but I just happened to remember another DC character that they even made a couple of movies, but they made him really stupid and campy back when they made him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a really cool character, and this goes into kind of our next topic. What would you like to see? I'd like to see them redo this and redo it well. What do you think about Swamp Thing? Apparently he thinks it smells bad from the look on his face. I mean,
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Swamp Thing was an interesting character. I mean, if you know a little bit of the origin, Swamp Thing came about because there was a scientist who was trying to make things grow where things wouldn't grow because he wanted to end world hunger. His name was Alec Holland. It was sabotaged, and this chemical got all over him, and he ended up diving into the swamp because he was on fire, and then he became Swamp Thing, and he had kind of control over nature, whatever you want to call it. But it's a really cool character, and if you ever get a chance to look into it, I highly recommend. I think there was a TV series for a little while, but the Swamp Thing can kind of they took it a little too campy, and I'd like to see them take it a little more seriously and see what would happen. To be quite honest with you, because he's kind of cool. So
yeah, and what's even funnier? I personally think that they're some of the two best DC characters are from Static Shock. One being Static Shock, the next being Gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially, like, if you think about it now, just imagine if someone with Gear's power existed now, he'd put Elon Musk to shame. I'm just saying. Which, if you don't, if you don't know who Gear is, he is Static Shock's best friend, Richie, who actually ends up developing powers because he was around Static for a long time. He gets super intelligence and techopathy or technopathy. Basically, it means it's kind of like telekinesis, that kind of stuff, but it's towards technology. So the dude just be able to create the most outlandish gadgets like it was nothing. So,
well, it's like we're kind of at that point in the podcast when we're talking about this. You all know I said last week there's comics, the TV shows, the movies, that kind of thing. They're in my opinion are meant to be escape from everything else. It's like well, Beard, what would you like to see a movie made or a TV show made? I would like to see a really good rendition of, like I said, Swamp Thing. I'd like to see a really good rendition of Green Lantern. I mean, I realized that the Green Lantern movie they made, everybody went, "Oh, it was nasty. It was bad. It was, Even Ryan Reynolds has said he's not real proud of that movie.
it was a little the story. I don't think it lined up very, very well. But most of the thing was it was too much effects. Like his whole mask. They like CGI'd his mask on there, and the way that they tried to do it by like mapping it on his face just made the whole thing just look so weird.
And maybe to get an interesting movie or TV show from DC, maybe they ought to pull somebody out that doesn't take front and center very often. What about the Martian Manhunter? You remember him?
Yeah.
John Jones?
Well, I mean, he's also on Supergirl. I think it is on CW.
Right. And he has a strength and abilities right up there with Superman, man. I mean, he's tough.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they brought out somebody who kind of took a back seat a lot with Shazam there for a bit.
True.
Which, by the way, I forget what the actor's name. But he also played in Chuck. The dude worked out a lot.
Right. Yeah, I can't think of it. But now, Chuck.
Oh my gosh.
But
Chuck, yes. That was a great television show.
Colton, I'm sitting here looking through one of these web pages, and they reminded me of a DC character that, you see occasionally, and especially in the DC cartoons that they make nowadays. But they had a limited run TV show for a while. And as far as I know, they only made one movie. And he was played by Keanu Reeves. What about John Constantine?
Oh my gosh. How do we? How did I forget about John Constantine? How did I not bring him up?
But if they really, and not that, and Keanu Reeves' movie was good. It was a little bit overly cerebral in some areas, and it made it a little hard to follow sometimes. But can you imagine if they just took the character and just made a really good movie or a really good TV show? I mean, the TV show that I remember wasn't that bad, but it just never could catch its click. It never could.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we also could bring in Lucifer's technically DC.
Well, that's true too. But I haven't watched the show, and I probably won't. I just, I'm just saying.
Not my cup of tea, but he interacts with John Constantine a little bit, which is kind of cool.
Constantine, I think, would be a pretty good one to do. You know,
trying to think. Ooh, another one. Dead Man.
who?
Dead Man.
That one I'm not familiar with.
I'm trying to remember. Hang on, I'm pretty sure it is Dead Man. Yeah. So Boston Brand is his name.
Mm-hmm.
His whole thing. His name is Dead Man, which he is associated with basically Justice League Dark, which is basically.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him at all. I
Batman. Batman Constantine Zatanna, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Let's see. Where's his powers? Okay, so ghostly physiology. He can flight, he can be intangible, he can be invisible, and he can possess people. Boston is able to possess the body of anyone he chooses. He can control what they do and say, and most of the time the subject doesn't remember anything Deadman did while he was in control of their body. He has mind control, enhanced senses, dimensional travel. During his mortal life, he was in.
Sorry about that.
He was an acrobat.
Yeah.
And things like that.
It doesn't sound. It sounds like a decent character. I mean, a neat character, but I'm not familiar with him at all.
Well, so Boston Brand was the original Deadman. Dick Grayson actually takes over for Deadman at one point in the comics.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
well, we need to probably move on. I know we're probably getting close on time.
We don't want 46 minutes in.
We don't want to keep them too much longer, because our goal is not really to make you accept what we think as correct or whatever. But, I want to bring some things to, hopefully to help. Maybe you'll discover a character that you might want to see. Or, maybe you can tell me about a character just like he just did. It sounds in some ways vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure about
you
the
don't
character
remember
that he brought
Deadman.
up. But, I'm all about, that's fine. Let's find the new stuff. Now, I remember one as a kid. Now, when it comes to DC comic book characters, this one is probably not as old as some of them, because the first time that this one was talked about, the first time that he became out in comic book form was in 1972. So he's not as old as some of the other ones. But if you're into Westerns, if you like cowboys, then you have to talk about Jonah Hex. Right? Jonah Hex was, how do you put it? He's kind of more of an anti-hero personality, but, it's the fact that he kind of walks the line between the living and the dead. He can actually touch a dead body and bring it back to ask questions and stuff like that. But it's there is a Jonah Hex movie. If you haven't seen it, it's not bad. It does give some really good background on Jonah Hex. But there have been, my understanding, some interaction between modern DC stuff, both in DC, like DC Legends of Tomorrow. So he's shown up in some of the new stuff now. I can't think of the guy's name that played him in the movie. I do remember that Megan Fox played in the movie. Imagine that. I would remember her name, but not his, right? I'm just saying. But,
well,
he's a cool character. You would enjoy him.
So I have to bring up this character, and the only reason is it was actually one of, I believe, the few comics I ever owned as a child. I don't remember why I got this one. I just remember having it. I don't even know if you remember ever buying it for me. That's the thing. That's the weird part. I don't remember why I had it. I just remember having it. But Etrigan the Demon. You know who I'm talking about?
No, it's not clicking anything.
So, yellowish demon, red, like suit, white cape. Also,
is Etrigan? Is that the one that runs around with Constantine?
Is one of the people, yeah. The partnership is Jason Blood. Is him and him like switch places?
That sounds familiar, but I don't. Of course, my brain don't function that way. I don't remember ever buying anything like that.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't remember you ever buying it for me, but I remember having it. Here, I'm gonna share my screen because we record this over. So I believe it's also going to be visible on the podcast. I just brought them up on Wikipedia, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I'm fine.
But this is Etrigan. This was probably, I don't remember which issue it was, but I did have an Etrigan comic as a child. I don't know why, but it did. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's the thing. I mean, let's do it this way. I do remember one thing, Bubs, that I said this week. You could give your the next podcast. You could give your closing thoughts first. So, we're talking about MCU. We're talking about DCU. I mean, let's play it out there. We're talking about comic book characters that Hollywood has tried to bring to life. So, we're having a little bit of fun with it and whatever you want to call it. So what are your closing thoughts? And then I'll give mine and I'll try to remember to do my social media. So,
well, I mean, we're only 50-ish minutes in.
Yeah, we got about 9 minutes or so, but
here's the thing. I'm not as long-winded as him, guys, so I do apologize.
Well, no, he'll do it, and then I'll be long-winded and he'll get him out of it. So,
but everybody knows, like, they had the Teen Titans TV show as a child. They've got the newer one now. I personally would really want to see, like, a good Robin TV show,
or a Darkwing,
or a Nightwing. Yeah,
Nightwing. Yeah.
Speaking
Darkwing
of like
Darkwing, duh.
But like, Damian Wayne, like that's. But like, I'd like to see maybe Under the Red Hood. Like they did like a small like animated series of Under the Red Hood. But what happens with Jason Todd and how the Joker like hides him in like an old part of the Arkham Asylum, like a good series on Jason Todd.
I got you.
I think that would be very interesting because here's the thing. I think everybody's like, yes, hero, no villains, but there's not a whole lot of anti-hero stuff that goes on. Like obviously you've got things like where they are hero-ish, but they're morally good most of the time. Like, I'd like to see a good anti-hero, like the Punisher series. They did really good with the Punisher series. But, like, imagine if they did something like that with DC and, like, with Jason Todd. Like, I think it would be really interesting.
I mean, and the thing about it is there are a lot of options out there. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. But I just have a feeling I think that would do really well. Trying to think if there's anything else. Of course, aren't they working on a Pennyworth series?
They have a Pennyworth series. It is actually on HBO Max.
Oh, great. So now I have something else to watch.
It's basically the origin story of Alfred Pennyworth. Yeah. So it's kind of decent, and it takes a little poetic license with the way history goes and, some of the things. But that's okay. It's a comic book. It's supposed to. All right? It doesn't matter. So,
but I'm going to end my closing statements with a character I hate and wish that would possibly perish politely very quickly. Amanda Waller.
Nobody likes Amanda Waller. Not even Amanda Waller.
So those are my closing remarks. Thoughts? Because
give your social media while you're thinking about it.
No, because I'm going to do the same thing you do, and I just don't give them. But you can find me everywhere at ITSBUBBZI. That's it's BUBBZI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's the man.
He's the myth.
He's the one that makes it all work. No, and this is all I'll say because I don't want to go too deep into it for this. Like I said, next week we're going to do MCU versus DC. And for some, that may not make a lot of sense. For some, you may be looking forward to it. I don't know. But here's the thing about heroes. we all look for heroes for different reasons. We all have the one that touches us the most or reaches us the most, or we think is the best because of, well, I mean, possibly because of something we were missing when we were growing up.
I forgot to mention
Beast Boy. Or something that we needed. We need that lack of protection or the lack of whatever it may be. I don't know. It's like, I'll just say it. One of the reasons I know that I relate to the Batman characters because my mother passed away when I was 9 months old. I understand the angst and the feelings that come up with not having that person that's supposed to be there be a part of your life. I get that. I think one of the reasons that a lot of people relate to Superman is because at one time or another, daggone it, we've all felt like an alien and we're on a strange planet, right?
This stuff is a strange planet, that's for sure.
And it's just stuff like that. So, we're just kind of sharing the things that we like, the things that we see, the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But what you choose is all up to you, and why you choose. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to know. What makes this superhero your superhero? What makes this one your go-to? What is it about them that touches you or makes you, I don't know, whatever, right? I mean, I can't think of the word right this minute. But the thing about it is, we all need heroes, right? We all need things to make us have hope. That's why, as many years as I've watched wrestling, that's one of the things I get frustrated about when I watch it now. Because there's no heroes. They're not all really bad guys. They're not all really good guys. They're just guys. But, when growing up, watching them, you had the real big heroes and the real big bad guys, and they fought, and you knew that at some point the good guy was going to win. We all need that. We all need that belief, that hope to sometimes get through the dark days. That's why I like superheroes. That's why I liked comic books as a kid. Gave me that thought. There's going to be something out there. There's somebody out there that's taking care of something. Right?
Great. That's you got a song stuck in my head now.
Probably. I don't know.
I can be a hero, baby.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We say that a lot about the podcast, that we're here to make you smile. We're here to make you laugh. And at the very least, we're here to try to get you out of your head a little bit so that maybe you'll feel a little bit better. We don't look at it, but that's what heroes do. And I'm not saying that we're heroes, but what I'm saying, we have to have those things in our lives that make us know that everything's going to be okay.
It's one of those
and I hope by being a little bit stupid and a little bit silly, we make you all know or help you all feel that things are going to be okay.
It's like one of those speeches like, there's a hero in all of us.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
There really is. There's a guy, I can't think of his name now on TikTok. But his hashtag that he uses all the time is "Be Someone's Good."
Mm-hmm.
That's just awesome, dude. Be someone's good. You may not be able to help them, but you might be able to make them smile, give them a little hope, whatever, right? Just be someone's good. So if you need to reach out to us, you can leave it in the comments. If you feel free to do that, you can contact me on TikTok, which is usually the easiest place, at the Caffeinated Beard on TikTok. It's also the Caffeinated Beard on Instagram. And you can, if you want to leave a message here or something that you need you want us to talk about, we would love to know what you guys want us to talk about. Because y'all know where I'm going. We're getting ready to stop. We're about trying to not take your whole day. But if you stuck here this long, if you've hung around with us this much, well, from this time till the next time, welcome to the family.
I don't know why I was doing all those strange things, but here's like a tiny little heart.
Because you're BUBBZI, and why not?
Tiny little heart.
Yep. Well, get us out of here, Bubs. We'll let them go to have your day. I hope you all have a blessed day, a blessed week, and we will see you soon.
This has been the Caffeinated Podcast.
Peace.
See ya.